Ladies and gentlemen, that's lots of Chelsea news and transfer-related ones as well. Let's get on with it, as we have to talk about a lot of stuff.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight into this. There's heaps to go through, and I want to hear what you guys have to, say about these topics that we're going to bring up. And I want to express my feelings towards these topics as well, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't subscribed to Simon Phillips and Dan McCarthy's podcast and their publication that they, where they put out a whole heap of articles in regards to Chelsea news, transfer news and whatnot, please go out there and do so. Basically, just go to Simon Phillips's page and you'll get all the links and all the information from there. They've recently had a podcast with Graham Bailey, who is individual who works for, as you can see over here, transfer correspondent, 90 Minutes Football Chat on pre-match pod and talking transfers. Like he's quite well known in the Chelsea journalism community. So there was a lot of interesting things he had to say, and Simon Phillips took out some of the clips, which I want to go through. First of all, Chelsea are very much in conversation with Raheem Sterling's people. They are letting him know, if you do move, we'll be in for you. This is Graham Bailey on Cy and Dan Talk CFC podcast. We just did about around 12 hours ago, live stream where we talked about Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling's situation seems to be heating up. I didn't think there was much leg to it, but it seems like Chelsea are definitely interested. There's a lot of people talking about it. Even Matt Law talked about it, and Matt Law has said that Raheem Sterling would fancy a move back to London, where he apparently grew up. Look, I've made it very clear. I know there's a lot of people in the fan base that actually don't want this and for some reason don't rate Raheem Sterling. I don't even understand why. Internationally, we saw what he did in Euros. Domestically, in the club football, we know what he's capable of. In the last 2 seasons, his stats wasn't as good as the previous 2 seasons prior to that, but it's still very good. It's still very good stats in terms of goals and assists. He's someone who's 27. I actually wouldn't mind this one bit. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Jesus and I wouldn't mind Raheem Sterling. Who cares? Let's go out there and raid Man City if we have to. They're not City rejects, as some people, going around saying this. I don't believe they're City rejects. Sometimes contract negotiations, when it comes to the end of it, can get very, very tricky. I'm pretty sure they want to keep them, but can't be able to keep everyone when you're bringing in Erling Haaland and so on and so forth. I think Raheem Sterling wants a bit more money as well. That's why Man City is not, agreeing with that kind of situation. What do we do in regards to that? I'm not sure. I'm thinking he may have to humble himself a little bit in terms of the money. But then again, look, we'll see. There's a lot of brothers in our team that we pay insane amount of money and who don't. They haven't been playing well. So I've got no issues if we have to reallocate some of their income and put it on players like this that are actually going to do something. So look, for me, Raheem Sterling is better than whatever we have right now, and in fact, improves us. Is he a long-term solution? I don't know. Maybe he could be. He's 27. He is in his prime now. Some could say his prime is probably already past, but we'll see. Do you know what I mean? His wealth of experience. He knows how to win the Premier League. Is a robust, dynamic winger. He really is. If we include players like Dembele and Jesus to come in, and hopefully our midfield can improve a little bit as well, someone like Raheem Sterling could be very good for us. But my issue is, why would Raheem Sterling come to Chelsea? That's my issue. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want to come to Chelsea Football Club? Because you've won everything at Man City. What is there to win at Chelsea? I thought naturally next move for Raheem Sterling would be Real Madrid. You can win the Champions League from there. I don't know if we are closer to Man City to winning the Champions League. If anything, Man City is probably closer. I know they have not won, but their team is far more capable of winning they're more favourites, I suppose. So if he was to say, I'm coming to Chelsea to win the Champions League, my man, we are not there yet. From that perspective. So that's where I get a bit confused as to why are you coming. But I wouldn't be upset if this guy was to come through to Chelsea. Let me know how you feel about it. Chelsea won Raheem Sterling, but he wants assurance that he will play regularly ahead of World Cup later this year. Man City are likely to command a fee of around 60 million. This from some Sunsport. I don't pay too much attention. I mean, this is relevant, I suppose. That's why 60 million is he is in his final year. We probably need to bring that down a little bit if we can. That's probably quite hefty for someone who's on his last year. But yeah, the fact that he wants to play regularly for a World Cup season that's coming up, that kind of makes sense. But then again, even if he gets those rotational minutes at City, I don't think England's going to drop him. England's always going to play him. He's an important player for England. But let me know how you feel. Okay, then we talked about, then the Graham Bailey and Simon Phillips and Dan McCarthy talked about Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé will come in. We know that's happening. He wants to go to Chelsea. This is 95% done. Look, I expect Jules Koundé to be one of the first few transfers along with this particular one, Ousmane Dembele. If I was putting a percentage to it, I would put 70-30, if not higher, that Ousmane Dembele is coming to Chelsea this summer. Look, as I keep saying in all my videos in recent times around this particular news, we're the only suitors at the moment. I think the transfer window is opening tomorrow, UK time, early. And yeah, Jules Koundé and Ousmane Dembele, let's get it done. Let's get the summer window rolling. We need to have a perfect summer window. I keep saying this. If we want to start bridging the gap between Liverpool and City, we have to have a 10 out of 10. I have to be honest, a 10 out of 10 window. We cannot stuff up. Last summer window, Romelu Lukaku and Saul, it just didn't work out. It royally failed. And in January, we didn't even do anything. We can't have those kind of windows ever again. We cannot. We have to capitalize. Chelsea scouts are mindful of the fact that signing forwards from European leagues has not been entirely successful. In recent times, it's not worked out. Alvaro Morata comes into my mind. Obviously, Romelu Lukaku. In between there was Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham, look, he scored goals and his attitude wasn't as foul as Morata and Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku's one is the worst, of course. It's been a while since we actually had a decent striker. Diego Costa, Didier Drogba, they came from European leagues. Costa, I believe, came from Atletico Madrid, and Didier Drogba from Marseille. Didier Drogba, we had to wait as well. We had to be patient. But Costa came in and he was absolutely electric. Look, I've got no issues if we mix things up and go for someone like Gabriel Jesus, who makes far more sense in terms of fluidity up front. There's no big-time striker out there at the moment. Lewandowski, he's gone to Barcelona. Besides that, I'm not too keen on Darwin Nunez at the moment. I think we need to be just a bit of patience. These Liverpool fans, they're getting so excited. We'll see. Don't think your life is going to be all rosy when Mane and Salah leaves. Salah might not leave this season, but next season could be a free agent. Mane 100% leaving Liverpool Football Club. And you think things are going to be easy when Mane and Salah leaves. Even when Mane leaves, there's a lot of goal contribution that Mane provides. So mind the gap, as they say in England. Thomas Tuchel would like to work with Gabriel Jesus. This is from CFC Bayern. This news is gathering pace, and I love it. I honestly love it. I hope we get this player. I know some of you guys are saying, reject this, that. No, I don't think so. 25 years old, trajectory could be taken off. Things to prove in the Premier League. He's not really been a talisman in Man City, but last season wasn't bad. If we have a team that all contributes together, he could be a very good player that could add on to that. Last season, I think he got about 25 goal contribution, 12 goals, 13 assists or something like that, 13 goals, 12 assists in all competition. Why not? We don't have at the moment someone who's done this. So for me, Gabriel Jesus is what he brings to the team, what he's going to bring for Thomas Tuchel. Someone who's going to work hard, someone who's capable of playing anywhere in the front three, someone who's not going to be static, someone's movement's going to be great, his link up is going to be great. Someone who's going to be very good in tight spaces as well. Someone who's capable of playing the false nine, dropping in midfield and creating that overload in midfield and then creating space for the wingers. So, look, he absolutely fits this scenario. Chelsea are looking at an unnamed Premier League CB. His name has not been mentioned in the media yet. This is from Nathan Giesing and Simon Phillips. Nathan Giesing, as you all know from CFC News page in Instagram, very well connected with Chelsea news. Look, the unnamed one that I can only think of in the Premier League, which I sort of made a video maybe early February or just in January when I had that 8 players from the Premier League. And one of the defenders I had, couple of defenders I had, was Maximilian Kilman, and the other one I had was, I think his name is Salisu from Southampton. Salisu is a very, very good defender as well. He was probably one of the brighter lights for Southampton in terms of defense. And yeah, Maximilian Kilman, he can play the LCB role, and Wolves they've done pretty good last season that just finished. Yeah, later on in the season they've sort of drifted away, but by then they knew they've survived the Premier League. They had like 50 points plus, and they sort of drifted away. But earlier on they weren't bad, and Maximilian Kilman was a key cog in terms of the defensive cog that was going on. So let me know how you feel about Maximilian Kilman and Salisu, two that I sort of named a while back, and who's not really been talked about too much in terms of being unnamed Premier League CBs. Okay, a little bit about Reece James now, ladies and gentlemen. There's always confidence that Reece James' preference will always be to stay in London. However, Chelsea feel there is no urgency to open talks yet due to Reece having 3 years left on his deal. This is from Sammy McBell from Daily Mail Sport. Reece James earns £70,000 a week at Chelsea at the moment. Look, for me, Reece James is the biggest asset at the moment in Chelsea Football Club, in my opinion. And in terms of Cobham graduates, he is by far the best that has come out of there. This guy's worth a lot of money. This guy's probably one of the best right back at the moment, if not the best, in terms of complete. I know a lot of you guys will say, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold is damn good. But defensively, he's a bit of a suspect. Reece James, however, complete. His goal contribution was same, almost, I'm pretty sure it was same, 14, as Trent Alexander-Arnold the season that just finished. So he matched him. He scored more goals. Alexander-Arnold got more assists. This guy, defensively, we saw what a beast. Vinicius Jr. Benzema changed his shirt with Reece James. Vinicius Jr. after that match said, this guy is something special. But in the final of Champions League, Vinicius Jr. had nothing to say about Trent Alexander-Arnold. In fact, he scored that goal on that side from Trent's side, which was also partly Van Dijk's fault as well. But this guy is going to be a superstar, if he's not already. I wouldn't be too worried, Reece James. Stick around at Chelsea Football Club. You will be one of the highest pay earners, if not the highest one day. 3 seasons to go. 70,000 is obviously not good enough, but stay patient, my man. Soon you will get your big mega money contract. I've got no doubt about that. You are not going anywhere. I know Real Madrid's circling around you, but Real Madrid, forget it, my man. Forget it. You've taken a lot of our players in recent times. Forget it. You ain't getting Reece James. This guy's going to be a superstar at Chelsea Football Club. So for me, look, he's worth a lot of money. He deserves a lot of wages. And he's someone who loves playing for Chelsea, man. He grew up at Chelsea. And this guy, I can't imagine him anywhere else. I wouldn't be worried about the whole Reece James situation. This is something Peter Cech had to say about Romelu Lukaku, which I shared in my stream less than 12 hours ago, but I didn't go through the entire thing. I find this quite strange, but I think Peter Cech is just playing it down a little bit. Obviously, he's not going to talk about all the issues that's happening around Romelu Lukaku at the moment. I understand that, but this is what Peter Cech had to say. I personally believe that he will have a great season because last season we saw how strong he can be at the beginning when he came. Further goes on to say, unfortunately, the long-term injury he sustained in the game against Aston Villa slowed everything down. Then he had COVID as well. We could, towards the end of the season, he was fit and ready to go again. How strong he is. And then he goes on to say, we had a particular season as a team around Christmas with COVID issues. He was one of those players affected too. I have full confidence that he will bounce back. He will have a strong season. Look, my man, Peter Cech, I know you're doing a nice PR thing over here, nice PR spin. Romelu Lukaku's leaving. He's leaving. All signs show he's leaving. He's desperate to go back to Inter Milan. And I think Inter Milan as well now wants him. He needs to go. That is the honest, brutal truth. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher is of high interest to Everton boss Frank Lampard. Billy Gilmour is also well liked. This particular news is actually gaining some pace. There's talks that if Conor Gallagher feels he's going to be a rotational player, then he may want to move towards Everton to get regular minutes. Obviously, World Cup just around the corner, so he wants to be in the mix for that. Frank Lampard has connections at Chelsea, so he'll be looking at some of those players. Richarlison's looking to leave Everton for Chelsea, so could there be something there going on? Look, if I'm Conor Gallagher, don't go to Everton, my man. Don't go to Everton. Look, I know they survived relegation, but I personally don't think they're going to do well next season. I think it's going to be a long season for Frank Lampard. I absolutely appreciate what Frank Lampard did with Everton by keeping them up. I don't think he's still a manager. We'll see what happens. I think he's going to be found out again next season. I don't think this is a great move. I really don't think it's a great move. I know some of you may say that, he's going to learn everything from Frank Lampard. Look, fine, but you'll learn a lot by staying at Chelsea Football Club. For me, Thomas Tuchel likes you a lot, likes you heaps. Stick around. Yeah, it may be rotational, but you will get game time. You're going to be, in my opinion, strong competitor for Mason Mount, and that should motivate you. And it's really up to you. Why are you looking for an easy way? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be a regular starter at Everton. Work your backside off at Chelsea Football Club and make a name. Do you know what I mean? Don't take the easy route. A rotational player, knowing that you're going to get game time at Chelsea Football Club is not a bad thing. And we're playing so many competitions. We're going to be in line to win some sort of silverware, domestic or whatever it is. Everton, I think they'll struggle again. So, yeah, with the Billy Gilmour situation, I've got no issues if he goes out on a loan again, if I'm being absolutely honest. And then if he goes to Everton, might suit him, might not, depends on how Everton want to play their football. But yeah, if we sell, there's another player that I don't want to sell. I'm more inclined to get a loan. But ladies and gentlemen, you let me know your thoughts about all of these news that we've gone through. More specifically, the Raheem Sterling situation. I really want to hear from each and every one of you guys what you have to say about Raheem Sterling. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see you.